Hey Harmonizers, check out this video of King doing some of his schooling for the Thoroughbred Makeover. So this is at one of the off-site locations. We've been going to different places to try to practice for trail and freestyle. And in this little part, we are working on our bridleless, trying to make sure we're nice and comfortable riding bridleless off-site and working on some different things. At this point, I have not put together a freestyle routine yet. I'm just kind of playing around with different things, seeing what he's able to do. So this here is a canter serpentine that we've been working on with holding the counter canter through the turns. And that's actually going pretty smoothly, so I'm pretty sure that we'll probably end up including something like that in the routine. And then here's just doing a little simple change into the other lead. I'll show you guys him working on his lead changes a little bit too. So this is coming up into the left lead now, and then I'm not really sure what happened with Sarah's filming as I do the turn. Sarah's holding Newton, as you can see, and he holds his lead really, really well and consistently through that. And whenever you're putting together a freestyle, you're thinking, what are the things that come, really easy to my horse? And then here is asking for a flying lead change, which when we were with the bridle on was very, very easy. And then when we went bridleless, he was like, wait a second, what are we doing? Are we just going faster? Because I can't quite cue the same way. So it took him a little bit to kind of figure out what it was I was asking him to do. So he comes around and then he does finally pop the lead right there. He gets the clean flying lead change. So that goes pretty good. So if I'm going to include a flying lead change in the freestyle routine, I'm going to have to just work on that a little bit more and just make sure he understands my cue of what I'm asking him to do. Here, when I ask him for the left one, I just didn't quite move his shoulder out of the way and he ends up not getting his hind end. So we'll have to practice that again. So here's holding his counter canter. Because I really don't want to lose my counter canter, we haven't been working on automatic lead changes. I've been working on holding that canter so I can hold the canter lead as I go around. And then here you can see I go ahead and I'll ask for the lead change, which he gives me there and is doing pretty good with that. So I'm undecided if I'll be including a flying lead change in my freestyle or not, because I just need to have them a little bit cleaner, a little bit more understanding. In fairness to King, I haven't been working on my bridleless a whole lot. I did some when I was in Maryland, and then I've been more focusing on his trail skills and trying to get him more precise with his back throughs and getting him more confident with his feet over different things. So we just haven't been playing around at the bridleless a whole lot. And I do only ride him a couple times a week because we're still trying to make sure he's just gaining weight, looking his best, don't want to make him back sore or anything like that by doing more than we usually do. And a couple times a week or 3 times a week is all I've really had time for. And so I've been just keeping that really consistent. Here is going into the water. So the places that we've been going to school are typically cross-country places. We've gone to a couple different ones. This one is Sunnymead in Peterborough, really nice facility. And even though they have all of these beautiful jumps and everything, I just focus on kind of doing my ring work, my flat work, and then doing the water. I want to make sure that he's super comfortable in the water, that when we go to the competition, hopefully in Kentucky, we always get asked to do the water there at the head of the lake, which is kind of one of the exciting, fun parts of doing the makeover and doing the trail class, is that you get to ride through that water, which is kind of fun. And but I don't focus on doing the jumping part. We went to Algonquin Park and did some trail riding there. So he got to practice leading, being in the back, being in the middle, and he was just a total superstar doing the trails there. And then this one is actually a different cross-country area. This is at Lane's End, so this is another day. And so this is a log with a little bit of a ditch on the one side of it. So whenever I see stuff like that, sometimes I'm like, okay, King, can we side past that? Can we work on that? So we actually did this pretty nicely. And you can see it's got the babiest of ditches because his low back feet are lower than his front feet. And then we'll walk over him. And one of the big reasons why we don't focus on the jumping, and I try to resist jumping when we go to the cross-country places, other than the fact that he's only 3 years old, so we really don't want to do a whole lot. We want to preserve his legs. But the other part is for trail, you don't want the horse thinking that they should jump the obstacles. And I don't want to get to something like a water box or a trash pit or whatever it is and have him think jump over it. We need him to touch those. So we just kind of avoid doing the jumping because you can confuse them. And we're so close to the makeover now. At this point, we are just 2 weeks away from when we are going to be leaving for the makeover, that I don't want to get him thinking jump, 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 when we're really not doing any jumping at the makeover, other than we'll probably do a jump as part of our freestyle, just to kind of show that he has that skill. It's a good idea when you're doing a freestyle to just show a variety of skills, but ultimately you have to pick the things that your horse is doing best. And so here at Lane's End, I'm just showing you guys one of the skills that we worked on as well. You can kind of tell from how zoomed out it was there. In the camera footages, we practice cantering or riding away from each other and cantering away from each other and only walking towards each other. And try not to, or sometimes we canter towards each other, but we practice cantering away from each other, making sure they're confident leaving each other. Because when we go schooling together, you know, we film each other a little bit. Sometimes we go off and ride by ourselves. Like here at this location, I did take him on a little private hack around while Sarah was doing her own thing. And here is their little bit of water complex. So we did some water there. But otherwise, that's kind of a look at what we're training on and some of the places that we've been. I'm getting nervous, excited. Let me know what you think.